tell us about Jayden Pitt?
You'd be aware the club released a statement. Excuse me. The club released a statement in regards to Jayden's status, really, as an AFL player with Fremantle at the minute. And I don't think I need to elaborate any more than that, except to say we're really supportive of Jayden. We've been working closely behind the scenes with our medical staff, his parents, Greg and Jenny, and it's obviously come as a shock. It's been an outcome of a strong welfare program for our players. It's not mandatory screening, although it probably should be. A number of clubs do it, and it's thrown up this as a big risk for Jayden in his career. So we're all taking time out, doing some further investigations, but he's had to put his AFL career on hold. And personally, as senior coach, and 45, 46 players on our list, genuine care for all of them, and this is a unique situation that I haven't come across before. And my interest and support is just for Jayden, as is the player group. And from here, it's just about Jayden's well-being and support. He needs to work through some issues, and as the release said, I think we all respect him and his family's privacy from here.
You've shown that genuine care with your players before. I mean, you were in the car with Anthony when he did his latest knee. I'm sure you've spoken to Jayden. Can you give us an insight into how he's feeling and how he's coping with this?
Well, I think you can draw your own conclusions. It's a really difficult period, it's an emotional period, and he's working through it. But I'm not here to speak for Jayden, but I think it's really self-evident that it's a tough time. So it's our job to support wherever we can. But as always, most people, when significant events happen, you need a little bit of time on your own and some privacy, and that's where it sits at the moment.
Is this potentially something you can work through with the help of doctors, or would probably worst case scenario be that it's the end of his career?
Well, I feel like I've answered that question. We released a statement, we're in a holding pattern, we're working through things. I don't think it'd be any clearer at the moment that his AFL career is on hold, and what the future brings. We've updated you, and we've been really transparent, and we'll continue to be and update you as frequently as you can without breaching Jayden's privacy.
We've seen other players have a few heart issues as well. I think Lenny Hayes was another one. What was the screening process that Jayden went through, and do you think it should be?
Well, I don't know the technical terms. At the end of the day, they've screened our players in a medical sense, and it's thrown up this.
How often do players go through that sort of screening?
It's just annual.
Okay.
Plus, how do you approach this week in terms of training? Do you ramp things up, obviously without the game? Do you try and keep it as normal as possible?
Yeah, it's a nice to answer a footy question. It is a challenge. It was an intense game. Round one's always intense, but a home derby, big ground, hot. So our players were quite sore on T1 Tuesday. So we get the luxury, a little bit more recovery, but we'll train really hard tomorrow and Saturday, and then back them off first session next week, and then have a really good hit out before we fly out on the Thursday, I think it is. So we get an opportunity to improve. We're far from perfect, we've got plenty to work on, but they'll work really hard from here, and obviously there's a vibrancy around at the moment, but it doesn't matter really what we're feeling. We've got to make sure we continue to prepare like we did for West Coast, for round 2 against the Western Bulldogs, and we'll have 2 coaches fly out and watch them, which is a significant burden for the coaches, but it's required to be done. So Peter Sumich and Brett Kirk fly out Friday night, they'll go to Etihad, then they'll fly back. So we're leaving no stone unturned to prepare as well as we did for round 1.
Obviously a little unusual to have the week off so soon at the start of the season, but do you welcome that because of the intensity of the derby, or would it be better to get straight into it?
Well, you like to get moving, but it is what it is, so we don't want to second guess anything. We trust in our strength and conditioning coach, Jason Webber. I have high trust in him to prepare the players and keep them focused. Really, we've come off 6 months, and the pre-season period, you play, you have a break. We had a break before round 1, but personally I'd like to keep going, but we'll take the break and gather ourselves and really try to improve. And there's a great game on tomorrow night Friday night, Peel versus East Fremantle down at Mandurah. 15 of our players are playing, so we can go and have a really good look at that, and they get a good opportunity. With Hayden going out the team, there's a spot up for grabs, and it's a real opportunity for someone to grab that.
Ross, how's Zach Clark progressing from his injury?
Yeah, he ran really well on Tuesday. He'll join in training tomorrow. We're deciding, I think he's more than likely to play for Peel at Peel. I think I got that right. Yeah. That's who his club is.
Is it harder for him to break back into the side, given Kepler Bradley sort of played his role quite well in the Derby?
Yeah, it certainly is. It does become more difficult, and then we just got to look at the balance of the team. With Hayden going out, can we bring in a fit and informed Zach Clark, or do we bring in another runner, another small? So that's going to be the decision. Bearing in mind, a lot can happen from there. We've got 4 training sessions, other spots can open up with illness and injury.
Ross, just with Jayden, can you upgrade someone from the rookie list? Will you look at that?
Oh, look, off my head, I think we've got Aaron anyway, so regardless of Jayden, we've got an opportunity, long-term injury, 8 weeks to upgrade. So you don't have to pull the trigger, that's an opportunity. And so our rookie list players would be aware of that.
If you do go like for Valentine, who are the leading candidates to come in?
Yeah, it's really hard. It's all the obvious ones, isn't it? Crichton, Crozier, Mellington. We're in a really good position. We've got a lot of people fit and in form. Lockie Neal is probably one of the Swan District's best. He can play small forward. So there's 5 or 6 that jump to mind really obviously.
The Buddy Franklin story's obviously surfaced again in Melbourne. Do you have any comment on that? I mean, it looks like it's just not going to go away until he makes it.
Yeah, look, I do. I'm glad you brought it up. And look, that story's a beat up. Disappointed with it, and so really my player group, our player group, Chris Bond come out earlier in pre-season, and then I was asked. And our priority is this list has been built. We've got some real emerging leading players of the competition. And young players like Crozier. And we've got some veterans that we want to look after as well. So our number 1 priority is to sign and manage our list. So that's the first thing. And probably this will clear it up and it probably puts a really fine point on it. I went to a Coach Association subcommittee meeting, and Alistair Clarkson was there. And we have a professional relationship, and I sought him out because this was bubbling around. And unlike Cloak last year, clearly we're in that, So, but this is totally different. I sought out Alistair, and I said to him, it is not us. So just to be really clear, just to let you know, so you don't have to worry, is it us? It is not us. So that's on the public record. I said, so that hasn't changed. So I think that really puts that article, lack of rigour, lack of substance and just sensationalism in its true context, and it should clarify it for the whole AFL industry. I can't be any clearer than that.
Did he appreciate you sorting him out and saying that?
I think it's just a respectful nod, yep, here, and we all move on. So, but I can't speak for the other 17 clubs in the competition, And I think we all get the expansion clubs, in the box seat for that with young Liss and, Gold Coast and GWS. And then, clearly you've got some powerful clubs in Melbourne that are looking for power forwards. So, but from our end, that's where we sit. And so that's a clear message to our player group that they're a priority for us, and a clear message to anyone that wants to write stories that have no basis. It just eradicates that. So thank you for asking.
They've obviously pointed, from their words, saying that there's no succession plan for Matthew Pavlich. You obviously see that there is one internally. Yeah,
well, that's an opinion business, isn't it? I mean, I think when Taylor Walker come through, did anyone know he was going to be a power forward, and Tippett and young Reid from the Swans, he went pick 38. So we've taken some young players, and they'll take time to grow and mature, but sometimes people occur and grab opportunities. You think, gee, where did he come from? So, that's an opinion. I think it just suited the red herring or the kite being flown, or I'm not sure what this profession calls it, but
One more non-footy one from me. Is it vote one Bob Catter in the dressing rooms?
Pardon?
Bob
Yeah,
Catter?
yeah, I did hear. Yeah, he was pushing for tax advantages. Is that
Yes.
correct? Yeah, we're very limited to what we can do, aren't we? So, yeah, I got him up all over my office actually, and the players are very thrilled.
Do you agree with him that?
Oh, look, I've only said the headline cursory glance. I've really been reviewing the
He
game.
basically said that
What's he
because
said?
The earning potential is so limited in terms of career time that the players should be given tax breaks because of that.
Look, it's a great theory, isn't it? I think, yeah, I think the players, yeah, they'd really enjoy that. Yeah, less tax for the professional athlete. That'd be great. But you're right. It's a condensed period, condensed time frame. There's some limitations, but I think that's a risk you take. I think there's some upside in other areas. So.
And coaches maybe as well?
Yeah, look, we got short. It's a tenuous existence, isn't it, AFL coaching, as we all know. But look, we're big boys. We can look after ourselves. And when the door shuts, we'll find something else to do.
Ross, Andrew Demetrio has talked about bringing the season forward and split opening rounds, a bit like this one, but earlier, to try and offset the impact of rugby league and rugby union, which are starting earlier. Are you in favour of any earlier starts?
Look, I've got full faith in the executive of the AFL. They've grown the game enormously. We obviously got some imminent challenges and threats from other codes are one of those. So the planning and preparation is always first class. We were thrilled to be one of the teams to lead off round one, be under the spotlight, the country tuning in. And you're never going to please everyone all the time, but I'll certainly back in their judgment because they get a lot right.